Hey, good morning. It's BJ and Joe Hondo out and about on the Recumbents. Yeah. So, let's see, today is Friday. Howdy. So, thank God it's Friday. Although when you're poor but retired, as we call it, our current lifestyle, Friday, it doesn't seem to quite have the same thing. It's just another nice day, It's a great day to be alive because, let's face it, every day is a good day to be alive. Yeah, well, we are out on the Cottonwood Creek trail again. And temperatures in the low to mid 60s, so definitely a feeling of fall. We've got on the bike tights and the long sleeve shirt underneath the jersey, and that does it just fine. Don't need the jackets or the vest or anything. So got a beautiful blue sky up there, very few clouds, a good breeze but nothing really hard. Yesterday we had a lot more heavy wind. But we had an assessment appointment with for our medical insurance through Rocky Mountain PACE program, and so that made us kind of too late to get going to try to get in a decent ride. So we did a long walk instead, and we're having a local election for stuff, and so we walked our ballots down to the ballot box. Howdy. That's one great thing about Colorado. The whole state does mail-in ballots. And I don't care what the current administration in Washington, D.C. says. There's nothing wrong with it. It works great. We've never had any problems. We had more problems with people messing up when you had to physically go in and vote every time. So the system works. I don't care what you've heard on the news. The system works, and it works good. And we really like it because there's nobody there to hassle you. So, okay, enough of that silly stuff. But as you can see, it's all the leaves are starting to kind of lose their color, and nice. But yeah, just mainly wanted to get in a bit of video because, like I said, I've had with this being our assessment period. Every 6 months we have to be assessed, and for our current health provider. So it means a lot of appointments. But also just general stuff too. We're getting a new primary care physician. We get to meet her on the 29th. Yes, I have a lady doctor, and I like it that way. Lady doctors actually seem to listen to you, where male doctors, a lot of times they think they're so perfect, that they know everything. But hello. Yeah, being that it's a weekday, not quite as many people out and about, but still, this is like I said, we're on the Cottonwood Creek Trail, and it's a very popular trail because it's more towards the north end. Well, I guess it's north and east, I guess you would call it. Got a bit of an incline here, so slowing down a bit. Now we're just out trying to enjoy the day. It feels good to get back on the trike after a whole week of walks. We did a 6-mile walk yesterday, a little over, so that's a good walk. In the old days, that would have been a normal walk. But these days, being 70 years old, we kind of are real happy with the idea that we managed to get a 5K, which is 3.1 miles. So if we get at least that, we figure we've done good. And we do try to ride or walk every day, unless the weather is just like absolutely horrible. This is the, like I said, Cottonwood Creek Trail, and this is Cottonwood Creek Park. And as we've talked about before, they have a disc golf course here. Really good disc golf course. I do miss being able to play. It's hard to get to if you don't have a car, because you don't want to take your trike or your bike, because then you have to move it with you all the time. And some of the holes are, like way down in little valleys, and, try to make it a little harder. So, but, yeah, well, whatever you're doing today, if you're working, I hope you're having a good day at work. And you'll be off soon. And hope you get to do some riding this upcoming weekend. I know this time of year the weather can be pretty I can't even think how to say that. Turbulent. There we go. Howdy. And yeah. Some more of the holes here. Howdy. Then we were coming up on the Pikes Peak Greenway to get to the Cottonwood Creek Trail. There really wasn't very many very many people out. So. Whew. Should have geared down one. May have to hit my e-assist here and help me out a little bit. There we go. Yeah, if there's a bad thing about this trail, it's that if you're heading north and east, it's all uphill. Where if you're heading west, yeah, that's you're giving. Let me know you're coming. Good morning, folks. Passing on your left.
Good morning.
Have a good day.
You too.
But I see people down there by the disc golf basket. And that's Cottonwood Creek on the other side here. We'll probably go down here and go through the tunnel, but we're not going to go all the way to the end. We'll probably just go to there's a spot where you can jump off the trail that goes up to a loaf and jug store, so a convenience store kind of thing. So that's where we'll probably head. Give us a little more, but I just don't feel like going out in the barren wastelands, because once you get past the park here, the trail gets a lot more all open air. So if it's a bit windy or breezy like it is today, good view of Cottonwood Park here. The gentleman we met at the Creekside Cafe. We stopped there for lunch, got a couple of unsweetened iced teas, and of course I did an evil thing. I bought a small piece of pumpkin bread. So sue me. Joe tried it, but it was too sweet for her. It was more sweet than I'd like, but it was pretty darn good. So I would really like to keep it's a new coffee house, and I'd really like to keep them in business. We're going to slow down here as I see somebody coming. Good morning again.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a cool helmet, man. I like the helmet. Passing on your left. One more behind me. Have a good day. Like I said, it's a really well done park. One of the better ones here in town, that's for sure. And over there, it does have, in the baseball diamonds, they got a really nice big old playground. And unless they got games, you do have to use a porta potty though. That's the only. But at least they have those. Up on top of the hill over there is the YMCA. Well, one of the YMCA's. I don't know what they call that one. But yeah. I said, just because the weather's changing, get a little crispier and colder, don't let it stop your riding or your walking, whatever you're doing, man. Oh, cool. An upright trike. Oh, and all kinds of recumbent trikes today. We're gonna let everybody come up here. Howdy. Howdy. Hello.
Hello.
Howdy. Have a good day. All right. That's cool. You don't see that many upright trikes. Morning. I gotta look at it. It might be past morning. Oh yeah, it's well past morning. It's already 12:30. Okay. Gonna go into a bit of a Halloween kind of tunnel here. All right. Howdy. All right, you know what we got to do? Ole, 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 ole. Oh yeah. Always have to do the tunnel song. Oh, that's such a cool shot. Yeah. So, well, I'll tell you what, when you got to come out of that tunnel, it's a real steep climb. It sure is nice to have e-assist. I mean, it is really nice to have e-assist. I don't know what we're going to do when the battery dies, because these batteries are horribly expensive. Yike! We may have to go back to standards and just put the mountain bike crankset back on it, but hopefully we'll be able to figure out some way to afford new batteries. Luckily, we shouldn't have to get them at the same time. Now, from here, that's the Homestead Trail going this way, but the problem of it is, it dies out. It doesn't connect to the other half, and that's a real shame. I wish I could get. I've tried. I literally begged the city to think seriously about fixing the Homestead Trail, because I mean it would be a great loop. I mean, you're looking at probably, if you did it this way, you came up, used the Greenway, hit Cottonwood, then picked up Homestead, headed over, and Homestead would take you clear over to the Rock Island. You'd have a 25-30 mile loop easy, and there's more you could add to it too. You could make it longer than that if you did it just right, because then you could take Rock Island down, you could hit the Pikes Peak Greenway, you could pick up Sinton and head towards the west side, and then down for the 31st Street bike lane and over and pick up Midland back into America the Beautiful Park in Colorado Springs, downtown Colorado Springs. And I mean to tell you, you'd have a 40 or 50 mile ride. It would be fabulous. But you know what it comes down to, folks. These trails, it's always money. There's always, there's only so much money. Yeah, a little bit of uphill. And all right. We're, like I said, as you can see, This is a little more urban in nature. And but even at that, it's still a nice kind of open space area. I love this thing. This street is called Manny Moon Drive. It's pretty cool. They have some neat names here. Yeah, because that's Manny Moon Drive. I think the next one is Spring Rock, or no, it's what is it? I'll get it here in a minute. No, it's Standing Rock. Standing Rock Place. Neat name. It's not boring like like where we live, Van Buren Street, it's named after a dead president. Howdy. But except for the wind being a little on the fierce, not really fierce, but a little strong at times. It's actually another beautiful day, man. Fall here in southern Colorado, unless it snows or it's super windy, we get a lot of wind during the fall here. But howdy. Jump up to level 2 here on the E-assist because it's got a big old incline coming up, but I got to make sure we can safely get around the corner here. Looks like we're good. Nope. Morning, sir. Passing on your left. One more behind me. You have a great day.
Thank you.
You too. You can see, all these 2 years ago, none of these townhomes, or I think they're townhomes, but none of them existed. There's nothing over here too. Now they've got two or three big humongous houses. Wouldn't be so bad living up on the other side here, because then you could just jump out of your house and come right down and pick up the Cottonwood Creek Trail. Be a nice trail to live by, that's for sure. But yeah, this house here is humongous. The house we're coming up on, it is just absolutely humongous. This guy must think he lives in the Taj Mahal. We got a lot of walkers up here, so we're going to have to be careful here. And we got walkers coming down too, so tell Joe to slow down a little bit. Not that we're not going that fast. Let me show you this house here. Is that thing a monster or what? Passing on your left. One more behind me. Have a good day. Hello. Afternoon. Passing on your left. One more behind me. Have a good day. Okay, what do we got here? Big. Good morning. Passing on your left. One more behind me. Have a good day. Okay. Oh, I should have gone into 3. Whew. Got a bicycle coming up, so. Howdy. I have to laugh a little, you know. It doesn't really help to wave at us after you've passed us, because luckily we have mirrors. But sometimes even in the mirrors, you can miss a bike and a rider. So, or I should say mirror. Although I'm thinking seriously about buying one for the other side of my helmet. But then I'd have to figure out a new place for my microphone. So, but I do like being able to see behind me. Okay, well, we're coming up on the end, or our turnaround point. Not the end of the ride, of course, but the turnaround point. And once we hit this, I'm going to turn the camera, or just pause the video for a second, because it's just ugly getting up on a big major street. I think it's Woodman. Yeah, it's well, this one's not Woodman. I think this one's Austin Bluffs. I think. Not 100% sure. I never know, you know. Without having a car, you know, we don't get up there, so we never see it. Okay. Good morning. All right, we're back. We did our little turnaround. There's a really good view of Pikes Peak there. Although we're gonna kind of disappear. As you can see, they actually got some snow up on the peak. We've been really fortunate down here because a lot of these places have been hitting the the storms have been hitting the mountains, but not really hitting us. I gotta jump gears here. Bring my gear up one. There we go. Much better. Yeah, like I said, it's one of those days, man. There's not a cloud in the sky anywhere. It's just blue. Very, very blue. See, probably what we'll do is I'll probably end the video at the park. I may catch some of the going back on the GoPro 6, you know, the hard-mounted camera. Frame-mounted, whatever you want to call it. I just call it hard-mounted. So, gotta keep her nice and slow. Oh, again. Okay. Passing on your left. Thank you very much. One more behind me. Yeah, I'm trying to hold this camera just as still as I can. Oh. Howdy. Thank you, sir. Yeah, we could get going wickedly fast down here, but that's would be stupid because there's a lot of runners today. Nice day to run. Okay. Passing on your left. Thank you very much. One more behind me. Still a little bit of color, not a lot. But I wanted to try to get a video today because, like I said, I've had doctor's appointments all week. So I haven't really been able to get out and do any riding. Like I said, I think what I'm going to do though is close the video at the park, at least the talkie portion. I said on the bottom half of the trail going back, I might put the other camera back on. I'm gonna. All right, howdy. Passing on your left. One more behind me. Have a good day. Another really, really nice view of the mountains and the foothills. Okay, so now we're gonna go. We're gonna head back through the tunnel again. Good morning, passing on your left. Thank you. One more behind me. Have a good day. Hello again. All right. Okay, we've got to slow way down here. Good morning. I keep saying good morning. It's already afternoon. Yeah. Now they started putting up trail speed limit signs. Although, like I said, between you and I really think 20 miles an hour is too fast for a shared trail. All right. Slowing down real good, so I want to get a little bit of a shot of this right here. Oh, I'm getting some holes over here. All right. As you can see, it's neat how they got that set up to where the creek, flows a little lower. Joe's doing the official Olay. Oh man, I had the thing facing the wrong way. All right, well, usually we go up and over the hill, but I don't feel like doing that today, so we're not going to do that. We're going to take the sidewalk and hope you don't run into too many walkers. Hello? If we do, we'll just have to pull over to the side, as they do have facilities, but sadly they're all on the other side of the park. It's too bad they didn't have something like right here for this side of the park. It would be great. Yeah, we do have some walkers and some riders, so we'll have to be careful. Good morning. Okay, I'm going to let these young ladies by here. You're good, thank you. I like your helmet. That's cool. She had a ladybug helmet on. Hello. Yeah, she's just pedaling like crazy. I'm going to let mom or dad go by here. But yeah, this is As you can see, the park's all set up for soccer and football. Afternoon. Okay. Howdy. And there's the playground right there. Yeah. And like I said, we're going to go to a different set, but they do have, right across, one of the few parks that has a porta potty right across from the playground, which I will never understand why we don't have one at every, get over here. Well, that one's got a little bit of a ridge. So. Howdy. Okay. Well, like I said, I think this is where I'm going to end this today. Give you one more view up here. And just say thanks for coming along for the ride. Please like, subscribe, and share our video. Man, we'd really appreciate if you shared the video. We're getting close to 500. I think we're up into like the 470, so it would really be cool to make 500. And no, don't worry. We're not charging any money or making any money or anything like that. These videos aren't like that. So, yeah. Well, till next time, whenever that is, till we get together again, up and over. Oh, there she is. Okay.
You couldn't hear the noise.
From BJ and Joe, Ando, out and about on the recumbents. Till we come together again. Happy trails, folks. Bye.